Right. This is a deeper dive into why we offer a free podcast to our business owners. And it's critical to understand what the value proposition is. Because podcasting has exploded on the scenes, that's how people are receiving information digitally. That's what one was a key factor in winning the recent elections. One candidate did 40 hours of podcasting, the other did hardly any. So, getting your information out there in a digital world is the new horizon. And being able to be a key person of influence is critical for the business owners of today because people buy from people, not businesses. Look at all the examples out there. It's all about people. Even Nike, as big as they are, they're about Michael Jordan, Roger Federer, Tiger Woods. They're about people. People buy from people. So, as a business owner, if you want to navigate through the new digital world, you have to create a profile. You have to give people enough information to get to know, like, and trust you. That's what the 7 is. Consuming 7 hours of you online. That means you have to be very proficient and very intentional about creating content, which a podcast is a way to do that because the more you put out there, the more opportunities people get to know, like, and trust you. Now, let's go back to the magazine. The magazine is a patent pending asset. The asset is something that provides value to our prospects. When you look at what the podcast does, we transcribe it into a story and we put it in the magazine. Right now, it's 20 stories, 20 people in a community. And the community is not just arbitrarily random 20 people. No, it's the person on the cover. The cover is your key person of influence. That person surrounds themselves with key strategic partners, team members, people that they've vented, people that they've done business with that makes the value proposition to their ideal client or customer more better for them because together you're better. When you bring a team of people in a specific discipline, the prospect knows that they not only have you, but they have your vented team so they can get to know them. Maybe they don't exercise a team member at that time. Maybe it's 6 months down the road. But this is a long term, a long play strategy for the business owner because every single time you're making a presentation to a prospect, there has to be what is the value proposition? Are you offering more value than a person of a similar business? If you're bringing your years of experience of building this team, they don't have to go out there and make the mistakes, which they do, because if they're just arbitrarily picking somebody off of Google search, maybe they're good, maybe they're not. But if that person, the person on the cover, the key person of influence, has vented them, has dealt with them, has worked with them, they know they're good. They're trusted partners. So that becomes the value of the asset. The magazine gets handed to people. You don't sell it, you hand it to them, you give it away. That is your way of showing the value proposition that you're giving to a prospect. Not only do they get me, the cover person, they're getting the team of people, 20 people that have done podcasts, that have a story in the magazine that people can look up, get to know. If, sometimes you get a referral from somebody, but you want to validate whether that's a good one or not until you build up that trust. As you build up the trust, you're more open to take that person's recommendation at face value. Look at a doctor. Doctor has a lot of authority. When the doctor says go and do this test, a lot of people don't question it. They just do it. So this is the authority that you bring to the relationship. And some, it will take some time. Some will say they've known you, they trust you, they like you, and they're going to take your word for it. But others, it's going to take maybe a little journey, listening to a podcast, reading about the person, article in there about the person. But the asset, and this is critical to understand, the asset is the magazine. It's a collaborative of one person, and surrounding that one person, that key person of influence, has a team around them. So your value proposition to your prospect becomes better, stronger, and more appealing because that person's looking to solve problems. They don't have the time, and time is critical, to go looking for all these people. They want you, the key person of influence, to help them save time, save money, and get their problem taken care of. So the magazine is the key. The magazine becomes a collaborative effort that we put together. And we do this over a 12-week journey with them, coaching them each week for 1 hour. Sometimes it'd be maybe a little bit more, but the time is small compared to the return. The people that are part of the magazine are in the coaching session. So you're building up a mastermind team of people that are solving a common problem. And the problem is around the key person of influence. Each person in the magazine can establish their own magazine. That's where it becomes scalable, because once people understand that you're in a different era, and the era is digital, people can find you, and that it's not what you say you are. I like to see, let me go back to the magazine while I find this. It's what Google says you are, because people meet you, they Google you. And if they Google you and there's not much on your profile, then the chances of them doing business with you, because you have this, people got to consume 7 hours of you. And so if you give them the content to allow them to get to know you, like you, and trust you, then you give the opportunity to be able to increase your cash flow and grow your business. So it's a longer play than just short-term transactions, because you're constantly looking at 7, 11, 4. 7 is the amount of time the person has to consume you to know you. The 11 is buying signals, and a buying signal could be buying your book, reading your magazine, taking an assessment, commenting on a video, attending a workshop, going to a webinar that you put on. All these things are intended to give them an opportunity to lean into you and say, I'm interested. If somebody doesn't have a need to know, they're not interested in you. It might not be right away. Maybe it's down the road. But that's why the 11 is critical. It's been proven through Google's 0 moment of truth. Whenever you've made 11 buying signals, like searching it, checking it out, you're more likely to start to buy. They've tested this and it's proven. The four becomes a magazine, a book, a workshop. These are the different places that they see you. A podcast. Critical that they see four different messages, different platforms. Just think of message as platform. They got to see you on different platforms. So when they see you on different platform, the brain there's just something that clicks. It's the know, like, and trust. It's always that in business. Why we do a podcast is to build that relationship. Be able to find out more about a person. People today are time starved, meaning that's why short videos are so popular. People don't have that time. It gets shorter and shorter. So we're spending 25 minutes with a potential prospect on a podcast. In 25 minutes, you can build a relationship. You can find some of their obstacles in growing their business. You can find out things that you normally wouldn't have an opportunity because people are time starved. But when they're on a podcast, they're your guest. You're making them feel special. You're creating an asset. So together, it benefits both. It's a win-win because you're putting an asset out there. And again, that's part of that seven. When you think of the seven, they got to get to know you. So if they're learning more about you on a podcast, your story, your journey in business, just things that help connect with people, then they're on that journey of know, like, and trust. And you created an asset for them for free. So it gets down to the free podcast. It gets down to a point that somebody loves free. And when you look at scheduling a podcast, shining the light on them, making them feel special as you become a good guest. Become a good host to the guest. And you're doing it, and all your total focus is who can I have on my podcast that is a potential key person of that business? What do we call it when we say key strategic partner? That's what you're looking to do, is build your business around key strategic partners by inviting them on your podcast. So it keeps replicating, keeps scaling, it keeps growing exponentially because every single person can have a magazine. And once you have a magazine, it's kind of like when you see books that come out with the second version, third version, fourth, because it's more information that has come out on that topic. Same can apply to the magazine. As you add another key person on your team, you can add them in there. So you can do another version of the podcast, of the magazine, adding more good articles that are centered around educating. That person that grabs that magazine and looks through it, that becomes a actual asset that helps promote the person on the cover and the people in the magazine. When you look, and I think I have it, when you look at even things like the $50 mention, let me see if I have it in here. Yeah, it's right here. This becomes a low-cost way of introducing people to the concept. For $50, they get exposed to many magazines. So it always ties back to a podcast so people can learn more about it. but we offer massive value because people spend money all the time in the wrong places. They always say 50% of marketing works and 50% doesn't. Your job is to find the 50% that works. We want to increase those odds for the people out there by spending a little and getting a lot in return, 10x in return. So that's why we do the $50 mention. So that's part of the magazine. So the magazine becomes first the stories. It has our ecosystem in it. Those are the 10 steps to grow and scale their business. But we can add articles of information, informational articles that helps educate people about that topic. So your magazine becomes a valuable asset that they just hand out to people, prospects. You want to get to know somebody, that can be the first buying signal that somebody says, "Hey, I read the magazine. I want to book an appointment with you," because they've consumed enough of you to want to take it to the next level. Because you always have to know how to pitch, know how to build your profile. Your profile becomes a product because you got to productize your business because we're in a global economy. So whatever you do, you can turn it into a product. Then you have to get good at your presentation, meaning you have to walk people through a presentation. Then the last P is partnerships. So partnerships are critical in your business. So you're always pitching and very distinctly, you know what your pitch is. Your profile, you're building it up over time. You keep adding content because people have to consume you to know, like, and trust you. So that 7 hours is what you're continuing to build because it's not what you say you are. Oops, let me go back to the book, the podcast. It's what Google says you are. And I think I have it. Yeah, here it is. Google. That's that. We still Google, and we do other ways. It's think of it as search. People are going to search you. Now, whether Google's going to be the search primary search, it isn't because they do it on YouTube, they do it on TikTok, they do it on AI. They're all going to be searching different places to find out information about you. But if you're not intentional about creating the content, people can't find you. So you have to be intentional about that. That's why we continue to do podcasts. That helps to get the content out there, builds the relationship, answers questions about the person's business, and it creates an asset. And the asset becomes what you build in business. More assets you have, the more valuable your business is. You have no assets, you have no value. That's why that magazine, which leads to the book, we haven't talked about that, but that is the next step, is to have an authoritative book like Daniel Priestley has that he hands out, he gives away. I think his goal was 1,000 a year. You're not looking to make money off your book. You're looking to give people content that they can consume to get to know you, like you, and trust you. When they know, like, and trust, they're more likely to do business with you. So remember the 5 P's: pitch, profile, product, presentation, and partnership. That's what we take people on, that journey. And we have things like a workshop where we teach them the 10 steps to scale and grow their business. Because if they're understanding that, and it is listed in the magazine, and even to the point where we're always creating content, and that content is because we're in a digital revolution. And we're talking online courses, podcasting, and building that profile. When we build that profile for the person and we're building assets, there are more chances for them to do business. So we have brand ambassador, which allows our people to participate in helping the community grow. Everybody has their own business. Give people an opportunity to be able to earn that revenue. That's why we share that revenue in the community that we're building. And then when we have coaching, we have three options. One-on-one, which is a more accelerated 12-week, where we're doing more for them. We're getting that, activating that book. We're getting that magazine done. We're building it, their community, their strategic, thriving community around the magazine. The magazine becomes one of the key assets to be able to leverage and to be able to offer to a prospect. So you have the 12-week journey that's built around the magazine, and you have your monthly strategy to promote you, because most people are having to understand that it's not about the company, it's about you. You are the company. People buy from people. So monthly, we teach them 5 to 7 strategies each month for an hour and a half. And that becomes part of a lower cost, which is at this time $97, lower cost month to month. If they don't get value at it, they don't have to continue. But we drive massive value for our KPI club members. That way they're on the journey. Maybe that journey may take 2 to 3 years, where the key strategic, the second one, which is a little higher price, might take 1 to 2 years, where the one-on-one may take 6 months to 1 year. It's all a matter of their resources they want to invest in themselves and the time frame they want to achieve the outcome of being a key person of influence. Remember, it's all about being a key person of influence, being on the cover of this magazine. That puts you in a position to be the key person of influence. Each one of those people in your magazine is feeding you leads. It's a lead source. So everybody is feeding, everybody leads, mainly to the key person of influence. But once a person graduates and is on the cover of the magazine, they become the focus. They're building their team around that, their key person of influence. So that's why it can scale. That's why it can grow, because each person gravitates through a journey to be on the cover. And when you're on the cover, you're a key person of influence in your prospect's mind, and you're surrounding yourself with a team of people, team of key strategic partners. So the ultimate is there. Be a key person of influence, be in the magazine, and there's 3 different options for people to do. So when you have those options, we also are able to, I think what we can do is, okay, that's the key person, that podcast and publishing and build thriving communities. And we do it also by adding content through our virtual summit, which we do twice a month. Everything is around connecting the people, building content, building relationships, helping people with their journey to be a key person of influence. We even connect on Wednesdays. And I don't have it on here right now, but that's on a different video. But it's Wednesday meetups where we're connecting people, helping people build relationships. All right. Thank you much. Be bold, make a difference, and have fun.